Hello and welcome. I'm your host Elizibar, and I am kind of cheesed off. I just did this, what I'm about to do, over on Periscope, and then I was gonna upload it to YouTube, and it was gonna be awesome. And I go to check it out on Periscope, and for whatever reason, my mic just cut out halfway through. So anyway, we'll start off with a happy Valentine's Day. And so to celebrate Valentine's Day, we have a book about bad romance here. It's kind of like the opposite of Valentine's Day. For her, romance. For the romantic partner, not so much. I kind of want to get a couple things across real quick before we open this up. One is the scale of the book. And so to do that, first we're going to compare a regular sized modern comic book to the Harleen softbacks, the single issues that came out. And you can kind of see what they got going on. Harleen paperback is a lot bigger. It's a magazine format. Normal comic book, while technically periodicals and they should be considered magazines, a normal comic book is not nearly as big. The other thing is it has an acetate dust jacket. What does that mean? This is not a particularly good example of when DC was doing those acetate covers on the comic books, but it is an acetate cover, so you can see like the orange coming through and stuff, right? And you see the symbol right there as Luthor's trying to harness it, right? Let me make sure I can actually open this. Then you flip it open. You ready? You ready? Boom! There's Perpetua holding the same thing with the same red back there. So even though we got like the Legion of Doom on the cover of this Justice League book, there she is, right there. It's a neat gimmick. Some of them are better executed than others. This one's not so great. So we got an acetate dust jacket, and we've got a big book. How big? Well, if you take it and you discount the dust jacket, the softback here is the same size as the hardback. So this art is 1-to-1. They didn't blow it up. They didn't shrink it down. The hardback is the same size as the magazine. So what's in the hardback? Well, first let's take a look at this awesome dust jacket, because this thing is dope. This thing, just calling it dope is doing it a freaking service. And I wish that, what I had done on Periscope was going to persist into the future, because I gave this a very thorough talking up. And then I'm really disappointed in the fact that my very thorough talking up was not there. So if you find me speeding through stuff, it's because I feel like I just talked about it and that I've already explained it, and my brain is just having trouble comprehending the fact that nobody heard all those wonderful words pouring out of my mouth about how much I like Stephen Sedgwick's art, how much I like his writing, how much the production values of this book are great. So let's start with the cover. So you got this acetate cover here. You got the mask on Dr. Quinzel. You can see her eye back here. She's got the mascara. This is an absolutely masterful use of the dust jacket. Let me move this. I don't want to hint it too much. But I had to start pulling the dust jacket off. All right. So I had to untuck it. And you ready? You ready? Because she's smiling. She looks like a perfect little, sidekick. She's got the Harlequin neck ruffle thing and everything. And then, boom! There's how she feels. Abused, in pain, alone, crying, sorrow. That's powerful, because that really conveys the outside of the character versus the inside. It's a great use of the dust jacket. It's a great use of acetate. It's maybe one of the smartest things I did with this book. The actual book itself, like the material that the cover stock is made out of, feels great in the hands. Whoops, I didn't mean to hit that. The interior paper feels good. This is matte, of course, and when you flip it over to a 2-page splash like this, it's glossy, and it looks good, it feels good. This book, the production values are quite excellent. One of my complaints about these soft covers is the covers, if you read them, your cover's going to end up bowed up like this, and it's really annoying. That's not really a problem in a hardback. Honestly, if it wasn't for 2-page spreads getting interrupted like this with the fold, this is really the way to read this book. Gosh, where do I start? No, that's not the question. I know where I want to start. I just have to find it. Yeah, right here. The characters in the story. And if you want more about this, I did a review of each individual issue, and I'm basically going to hit the high points of those reviews. So if you want to kind of dive deep into the specifics of what's going on in a particular issue, what the feelings are, that kind of stuff, go watch that review. You can find them on YouTube. They can't be too hard to find. If I'm a smart YouTuber, I will put links down in the description below, and then you can click on them. So even if you're on BitChute and you want to go read them, you can just like click the link, because BitChute just stopped getting my stuff from YouTube for whatever reason. You know, technology. Technology never works. Technology should just work, but it never does. So you can see the emotion here. She's genuinely in love with him. Of course, he's a supervillain. And that's probably the most masterful thing that this book did, is it takes these extraordinary characters, whether you're talking about Batman, the Joker, Two-Face, Harley, and it turns them into a believable world. So it's a world of superheroes. It's a world of terrific ups and terrible lows. And you still have this normal, vulnerable human being. And this is one of the key moments that really, really kind of makes the book. I had a dream that night. I dreamed of a long, winding road, of bats, and of a giant beast. I love Stephen Sedgwick's writing, by the way. He does a fantastic job of imbuing his writing. I don't know if it's all him, because he's not a native English speaker. And when he talks, he ums a lot like I do. But maybe his editor helped out. Whoever's to credit for the writing in here, fantastic job. I choose to credit Stephen Sedgwick, because his name is on the cover. I dreamed of a broken man, and in the dream, I smiled. And you know where the book starts? This isn't the end of the book. This isn't like we're at the final chapter. But you know where the book starts? Let's go back to the beginning. Sinking, spinning. It starts with exactly that scenario. A long, winding road. A beast. And a broken man. And in the dream, she smiled. It's all right here. That's repetition of a theme. You take something that you've done, you do it again, you do it again. It builds it up in power and importance every time you do it. And Harley Quinzel, her fall from grace, her descent into going from the psychology doctor to, or doctor of psychology, there we go, that's a better way to put it, to being the Joker's sidekick. It's done bit by bit, piece by piece, and you can see how each step she takes, she just goes one little notch further down. I guess rabbit holes have notches now. She's going down the rabbit hole. There. We're mixing metaphors and Batman villains up here, because that's what we do when we're doing Comichat. She starts off just trying to help people, just trying to rescue them, trying to understand these criminals. And then she meets one that no one has been able to help. And so she goes from just wanting to help him. You can see the concern on her face there as Batman beats him to a pulp. She goes from just wanting to help him to straight up falling in love with him. And there's lots of great foreshadowing. So it starts off, she wants to help people. Then she thinks, I can save him because no one else can. I can save him. Then she falls, she becomes infatuated with him. Let's see if I can find one of those pages. Yeah, you can see, like, he just starts appearing in her thoughts all over the place. That's infatuation. And then it grows into a sort of, like, twisted love. And welcome to Valentine's Day. It's an absolutely fantastic book. The production values are top-notch. The book itself is top-notch. There is no complaint that I can render about this book. Everything about it is fantastic. From the dust jacket, to the interior art, to the writing, to the coloring. Stephen Sedgwick's art style, it's very painterly. Can I show something without spoiling too much, maybe? Because I feel like I've spoiled an awful lot. You know what, we've already showed this spread. His style is very painterly. You know, a lot of comic book artists, they do art the comic book way, which is you start with pencils, and then you put strong lines over top of it with ink, and then you color it. He works like a painter. He puts some pencils down, and then he starts applying the paint over top of it, and he lets the paint guide him. Now, it's digital paint and not real paint, but it's the same idea. You can see how cool and awesome and awe-inspiring Arkham looks as she's entering it right there. Like, that's inspirational. It's also imposing. You can tell from the perspective here how tall it is to dwarf her. That puts the sense of power on the Arkham Asylum side. It's this big, powerful creature. It's monolithic. The human scale is nothing to her. And this was fun because this is foreshadowing literally as a shadow. How can you beat that? How can you beat that? Well, I'm sorry my first Periscope stream was an absolutely unmitigated disaster. Don't know why my mic stopped sending stuff here, but at least when I'm using Streamlabs instead of StreamYard, I can see the freaking mic volume levels, so that gives me a little advantage here. Maybe StreamYard's not such a good idea after all. Everybody's using it, though. Everybody's using it. You all have a great day, great night, great whatever you got going on. I read this, and I read an actual book. There it is. Let me grab that. And I don't know if I'm going to do a review of an actual book. If I do, I got a couple books I want to do, but I don't have a good format for doing that. But this is a book that came out like almost 30 years ago. I read it when I was a kid. It's fantastic. My dad bought me this book. Not this copy. I actually got this from a place called The Book Deal for free. But my dad bought me a copy of that book a long time ago, and I can't find it. Don't know what happened to the original. It's a good book. It's all about how mega corporations are taking over the world, including everybody's favorite mega corporation, Disney. Yeah. That's neither here nor there. Right now, I just started reading the If anthology from, this is 2018? Yeah, 2018, Alternate Comics. My shop man actually just snuck that into my box 2 years ago, and I'm just now reading it. So, there we go. Harleen's cool. I liked it. That other book, I liked it. I liked it so much I just had to get it out and show you. And I don't know if I'm going to do a review of that old anthology book, because at this point, I doubt Peter Simeti even has copies of it available, so what would be the point of reviewing it? But you never know what's going to happen on Comichat. So you all take care of yourselves. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I sure hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye-bye.